It's Rebecca. So, insecurity exercise for today. This is for people who've been really sick, mentally, physically, emotionally, all of you. Those are all serious things to contend with. Now, as many of you know, I was really, really sick multiple times in my life. The last one was a huge blood clot storm, which of course almost killed me. I had 17 mid to severe clots in the right lung, 14 mid to severe in the left, saddle clot in the heart, DVT cluster in the leg the size of a lemon. And it was funny too, because the doctors are always like, and all this medical staff kept coming in and they like, do you have a will? Do you have a do not resuscitate order? You need to contact your family. So it's like, okay, so yeah, once again, everybody thinks I'm going to die. But it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. I survived it, obviously. But because of that, the doctors kept coming in saying, these are trauma clots. Were you beaten? Were you raped? Were you attacked? Were you in a car wreck? Did you fall down the stairs? No, I didn't have any of those things happen. But they said, these are trauma clots. They're from trauma. And it turns out they were not from trauma. I have a genetic mutation called MTHFR. Mine is compound heterozygous. It's a rough one. And the hematologist found it by saying, I'm going to test you for everything known to man. And they took 17 vials of blood. And they actually had to put me on one of those chairs because I'm half dead from them sucking so much blood out of me. And they had to put this horse needle in me to get the last 3 tubes and pull it out. But they found it. And what caused the blood clots? What caused my miscarriages? What caused my anxiety and insomnia and a plethora of other physical problems throughout my life is this genetic mutation. The amazing thing about it is researchers believe 30 to 80% of all of humanity has some form of it, and they have no idea. Because think about it, the human genome was only mapped in 2006. I don't think they found MTHFR. My hematologist told me to call it mother effer, so I remember the letter sequence. But people have no idea. And then in their late 50s, early 60s, they get the blood clots, and it usually kills them. Now, I was severely damaged by it. They said that my entire arterial system's probably pockmarked because of homocysteine damage. Because what mother effer does is it doesn't turn folic acid into methylated folate. Our bodies can't absorb folic acid. It has to convert into methylated folate. Then our bodies can absorb it. Well, mine never turned it into methylated folate. And I took folic acid with my multivitamins all the time. That was like taking poison. My body didn't know what to do with it, so it just stuffed it in my fat and let it sit there and kind of poison me. So, if you have, really horrible physical problems or anything like that, look for a silver lining. My aunt was paralyzed by polio. Couldn't move, had to breathe with an iron lung, the whole 9 yards. She became a missionary and went all over the world. And Father John, the priest who talked her into being a missionary, told her, when he first met her, he comes in, she's in an iron lung, her husband's divorced her because he doesn't want to be married to again, took the kids, she's living in the hospital. So he comes up and he goes, stop feeling so damn sorry for yourself. And she goes, get out, get out. And he goes, make me. And he said, you're exactly what I'm looking for. I go around and I try to convince people who have polio paralysis, or they've lost a limb, or they're stuck in a wheelchair. He goes, everybody I bring with me, there's always someone who will invariably say, well, at least you can move your arm, or at least you can turn your head, at least you can walk, even with a crutch. He says, your worst case scenario, you can't do anything. You can't even breathe on your own. So he said, if you tell these people that life is worth living, they'll listen to you. So she turned that unbelievably difficult life into a positive because she helped people for the rest of her life. They gave her maybe 6 more months to live after she's first diagnosed. She lived 22 years. Our family's impossible to kill. And she went everywhere. And all these people said they could feel it when they talked to her, that, yeah, maybe life is worth living. So look at your ailments, not necessarily as ailments, even though they are, and think, what can you possibly do with them? Chuck Close, when he was in that terrible car wreck, the painter, and he painted photorealistic. He was like one of the first ones to ever do photorealistic painting. And his hands were crippled. And he actually had braces made on his hands that you could hook a paintbrush into, and he would paint like this. And his paintings were even more astonishing. So negatives are negatives. Yeah, there's no getting away from that. Dig into the bastards and find the silver lining. Find the thread of gold in whatever horror that happened, and try to do something good with it. And that will help your own self-worth. You can help the world and help yourself. 2 gifts in one.